All right, guys, so this is about body paragraphs. What are they? The body paragraphs are the meat of your writing piece, and they explain the points of your thesis. Okay, I'm not going to read this paragraph to you and make this video super long, but you can read it, and I will point to parts of it as we go on in this video. Okay, so the body paragraphs, where do they come from? They come from your thesis, and then they come from your gathering evidence graphic organizer. Okay, so the meat in here is coming from the organizer. So as you can see, Halloween has many rich traditions, and then my thesis was in Ireland, Mexico, and Italy, and my first one is about Ireland. So I go over here to my graphic organizer about Ireland, and I find my information, and as you can see, I picked trick-or-treating right there, and then I say according to Halloween around the world, okay, with my source there, okay? So it's coming from your graphic organizer. You're just putting them into sentences and organizing your information. The structure of a body paragraph, you always start with a transition, and I said to start with is my transition, okay? And you can click here. If you click here for a list of transitions, it'll go to it, okay? And you can see all the transition words that you can use. The PDF will open. So addition, consequence, so you guys know a lot of these words. Also, again, as well as, accordingly, otherwise, there's so many, okay? Make sure though that your transition actually works with your essay. Like read the sentence out loud. What it actually works with the paragraph and the point you're making. Some people just throw random ones in there and they never work. So know that you've got that list of transitions for you. Okay, so you start with a transition, and that first body paragraph, usually you can start with one that kind of leads everything off. So I did to start with. Then the topic sentence, which is from your thesis. I say Halloween actually began in Ireland. That's from my thesis. That's what I start with. Then I have cited text evidence with explanation. The article Halloween 2020 says that. Okay, and then I give all of my evidence and explanation after it, and then I have a conclusion sentence, not for the entire essay, but just like that wrap-up sentence for the paragraph. Okay, so it says, what started out as a scary and supernatural time, the Irish now make Halloween an exciting holiday with fun and games. That kind of just summarizes my paragraph before I go on to the next one. Okay. So the success criteria for a body paragraph. The first one, I can start my paragraph with a transition. So I did that to start with. My topic sentence introduces my paragraph and is a point from my thesis. Halloween actually began in Ireland. That's from my thesis. I have properly cited text evidence that supports the point from my thesis. We're going to talk about the grammar part of that, the correct punctuation in a minute, but here's that. Okay, I have other stuff in there. I have explained my text evidence, or I go on with my text evidence. That's in there as well. And then I have a conclusion sentence that wraps up the points in my paragraph, and I just read that to you in the last slide. So I have all of those things. So each body paragraph needs these 5 pieces of success criteria. So inserting text evidence, I just call something like I sandwich it. The actual evidence from the text should be in the middle, which is the sandwich or the burger or whatever right here, because you have to introduce it, which is the top bun, and explain it, which is the bottom bun. Okay, so when you insert text evidence, you can't just put the evidence in there. You have to introduce it. So use a text evidence sentence starter. According to the article, in the article blank, it says, and then I put over here, you can also use the author's name. You can put the article title or the author's name. Then you actually have to put the text evidence in there, and there's 2 ways to do that. You can paraphrase it, say it in your own words, or quote it, which means copy it directly from the text and put quotation marks around it. So a good paper has a mix of both, okay? And then you have to explain it. Explain why the evidence is important, how does it connect to your thesis, what does it show, or give follow-up information with it, okay? No one wants to just see, according to the article, this happened. According to the article, this happened. According to the article, this happened. No, you need to give some information on why it's important or some follow-up stuff from the article, okay? And you'll see that as we read, or as you read the example one, you'll see that I don't just put explanation, or I don't just put evidence after evidence after evidence. There's some explanation in there. All right, so the punctuation of text evidence. You put quotations around the article title and capitalize it. So Halloween traditions, both are capitalized, both words are capitalized, and there are quotations that shows that it's an article. You need to put a comma after your introduction of evidence. So according to Halloween traditions by Amy Smith, comma. Okay. And then if you are using a direct quote, make sure to put quotations around it. Trick-or-treating promotes community. Quotation marks around it. All right, so make sure to use those. That is important. If you don't use quotations and you're copying directly, you're plagiarizing. All right, so that is the body paragraph.